Good morning, grade 5s, and we continue with our weather elements. The last time we were talking about the wind, and we spoke about the different types of wind that we have, and we said that we had quite a number of words that we could use to describe the wind. We said the wind is the natural movement of air, okay? The movement of air, that's what we call wind. It can be at any speed. And we said that we've got words like calm, breeze, gale, strong winds. These are some of the words that we can use to describe the wind that we experience on a day-to-day basis. All right. And I also spoke about the different instruments that you can use to measure wind. And we said that we can use a wind vane or a windsock. We said the wind vane is used to measure where our wind is coming from, and the windsock is used to determine where the wind is going to. All right, so today we are moving on to another weather element, and we are going to be discussing rainfall. Rainfall is the amount of rain that falls in an area, or drops of water that fall from the clouds. We can describe rainfall using the following words: no rain, light rain, heavy rain. Okay? Water falls to the earth in different forms. We call this precipitation. So precipitation is the different forms in which water falls to the ground. So rainfall is a form of precipitation. And I'm going to look at precipitation in another lesson. But today we are interested in rainfall, which is the amount of drops of water that fall in a particular area. And these fall from the clouds. So when we talk about rainy days, we are talking about those wet conditions, okay? So rainy days are days that bring wet conditions. These are what we call rainy days. And then we have some days where there's no rain, and we call those dry days. And during dry days, no rain comes. So dry conditions are experienced. And if you have a dry condition, you can actually go to the park, you can bask. Look at this guy here. He's enjoying himself in the sun and he's reading a book. This woman is miserable. She's carrying an umbrella because the conditions are wet. So rainfall brings wet conditions. And if we have no rain, we have dry conditions. All right. So how do we measure this rain? We measure rain using an instrument called a rain gauge. And this rain gauge is a special instrument that is measured in that measures rainfall in millimeters, not milliliters. I know most people want to write milliliters because they know that anything that is liquid is measured in liters. But our rain gauge measures our rainfall in millimeters because we use a ruler. All right, so the ruler measures in millimeters, and our rainfall also is measured in millimeters. We call this instrument a rain gauge, and the rain gauge must be situated in an open area, okay, away from the trees and away from the buildings. Why is this? Okay, we need to situate the rain gauge in an open area so that it does not measure runoff from the roofs or runoff from trees. Okay, so if you put it in an open area, it will measure the actual rain that has fallen. But if you put it close to the roof, I'm sure you've seen when it's raining and the water comes down the gutters. Can you see how fast it is for you to fill up a glass of water if you go and collect the water that runs off the roof, compared to somebody who just puts a glass of water in the middle of nowhere where it's clear and there are no trees or no buildings around. So it's important that when you place your rain gauge, you place it strategically, you place it in an area that does not have buildings close to it, that does not have trees, so that it measures the actual rainfall that has fallen. And I'm sure you can see that this has been placed quite high. Normally they suggest that we place this rain gauge about a meter above the ground. That way you also do not measure the runoff on the ground. Can you imagine if this rain gauge was at the same level as the ground? Everything that flows on the ground will fill up this rain gauge and will have false readings. So it's important that it's high above the ground and it's away from buildings so that it does not measure runoff and anything that comes off the trees and the buildings. All right, you can actually make your own rain gauge, and this is easy. All you need is a 2-liter bottle, you need a scissors, you need some stones, and you need a ruler. Why do we need all these? All right, so we need a 2-liter bottle so that we are able to collect the rain that is going to fall. And then what we do is you just cut the top part of your 2-liter bottle so that you have something that looks like that. So now you have the top part of the bottle and the bottom part of the bottle. Then what do? You put some stones inside your bottle that has been cut. Why do we need these stones? Remember, at times when it's raining, it rains and there's gale force. Remember what gale force is? Yes, those strong winds. Or at times we have very strong winds. So you need to put some stones there to stabilize our bottle so that it doesn't fall over. Okay, so it stays in one place because of the weight of the stones. And then once you've done that, you take your ruler and then you graduate or you mark the bottle so that we see, you'll be able to measure how much water has fallen or how much rain has fallen. So you see there's my ruler there. What is happening to this cursor? Yes. So there's my ruler, and then I graduate my 1, my 2, my 3, my 4, my 5. So when the rain falls, I'm just going to use this graduation here to tell me how many millimeters of rain has fallen. And then the top part, can you see this top part? You put it in upside down so that it creates a funnel. Why do we need to create a funnel? So that we can channel all the water that has fallen into the bottle. It's important that we channel everything that falls in there into the bottle because that will give us the correct readings. And I'm sure you can see the water there. As long as you've got a channel, then you know that you are harnessing, you are collecting all the water that has fallen. And then after some time, you come back and then you read your recording. If you want to read how much rainfall, for example, has fallen in a week, you need to be doing it on a daily basis, okay? Because if you don't do that, some of the water evaporates. So on Monday, if there has been some rain, you record how much rain has fallen and you write it down. On Tuesday, you do the same. And then at the end of the week now, you can add up your figures and be in a position to say that, yes, I have recorded so many millimeters of rain in that particular week. Not milliliters, but millimeters, because we are using the graduation of a ruler when we look at measuring rainfall. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.